Hi, my name is Carmen. I'm a fourth year student studying at Simon Fraser University at the Beedie School of Business, and today I'm filming a get ready and chit chat with me where I get ready and I get to answer some questions that we received on the SFU Beedie Instagram page. So a little bit more about me. I'm in my fourth year. I actually transferred to SFU over a year ago now, and I completed half my second year and my entire third year up to now in the Beedie School of Business. I'm concentrating in marketing and human resources, and I'm also quite involved. Even though I've just been at SFU for over a year, I signed up for a lot of things within the school. So currently I am a Beedie content creator, obviously. I'm also a Beedie writing mentor, and I'm currently the VP of the Student Marketing Association at SFU. Today I'm getting ready to go to the Richmond Night Market with some members of the executive team at SFU SMA. We are gonna go eat some good food, take some photos, and just have a good time. It's a great way for our executive team to bond. So we try to have little socials where we go out and get to know each other outside of the club as well. So come along while I answer some questions and get ready for the night market. So first things first is sunscreen. So the first question that we received is tips for incoming first year students. I would have 4 tips for incoming first year students, and that would be to join clubs, learn how to study for yourself, and stay on top of deadlines, as well as get to know your profs. So joining clubs, let's talk about that first. Clubs are a great way to make new friends. A lot of the times clubs will have orientation days where you get to go in and you get to meet the executive board of every club. Then you also have icebreaker games where you get to know and meet more coordinators or general members of the club that you are in. This is a great way to make friends because they give you icebreaker games. So you have to actually go up to people and talk to them, but everybody's doing it at the same time. So that really helps take the pressure off of just going up to somebody and trying to strike up a conversation and find something that you have in similar. Because when you're in a club, you already have one thing in similar, or 2 things. You go to SFU and you're in that club. So it definitely helps take that pressure off. So if you're introverted or you are scared about making friends in university, join a club. There's so many clubs at SFU. Beedie alone has 13 different clubs that you can join based on concentration or just what you're interested in. Join clubs. Very simple. And it's also great to put on your resume if you don't have experience. Learning to study for yourself. This is something that I still struggle with. Learning to study best for yourself. So that is the environment you're in. For example, I can't study at home. My room is my comfort zone. I just like to chill in here. So I don't study at home because I get distracted. I don't study with friends that much because if I need to get a lot of stuff done, I can't study with my friends. I love them, but we're just not productive together, which is okay, but I know that if I go study with friends, I wouldn't get as much done. So yeah, knowing your environment. Do you like studying on campus? Do you like studying in coffee shops, alone, with music, without? That's very important. And then learning how to study best for yourself. So go look up or go try out different types of study methods and see what works for you. For example, I can't do flashcards. I have a horrible memory. I just don't even take anything in from flashcards. I just memorize where they are in the pile. I also hate making them. Hate making flashcards. So I don't use that study method because I don't like it and it doesn't work for me. However, studying something for 25 minutes and then taking a 5-minute break, doing that 3 times, and then on the 4th time, giving myself a 40-minute break, 30 or 40-minute break, really, really effective for me. I get a lot of stuff done. And I also like how it's a bit flexible in the sense where I can decide, actually not 25 minutes, I'm gonna work for 30 minutes and then give myself an hour break at the end. Stay on top of deadlines is my 3rd tip. Deadlines are obviously a very big part of university when things are due, when you have tests and midterms. I personally have a lot of deadlines with school and the different positions that I'm in. So I have 2 different calendars. You can get at the dollar store monthly blank calendars and weekly blank calendars, which I really like using because you can use it any day of the week. It's not like you're wasting paper. Sometimes I need a weekly schedule, sometimes I don't, etc. But I have a planner, I have a calendar, I have a whiteboard. I put everything into my Apple Calendar so I don't miss deadlines. And just staying organized is very big if you want to succeed, because you will have a lot going on, or maybe not a lot going on, but you just don't want to take the chance of missing something, especially if it's a big assignment or quiz or test. You want to do well. And then get to know your profs, especially within Beedie. When you come and enter, whether you're a transfer student or straight from high school, you have to take an intro course, which I believe is 201 or Biz 202. And both the profs for that course, you can easily see them again. A lot of times, a prof that is teaching an entry-level course does teach concentration courses as well. So the chances of you seeing a prof again are quite high, especially even just like at events. It's not even about at school. So make sure that you go to office hours, get help from your profs, and get to know them, because it does help you in the long run, especially when you start looking for opportunities. If you need a reference letter, or if they are approached with an opportunity from someone that's looking for a student, being like having that relationship where they can even recommend you is just amazing. So those are my top 4 tips. So I've decided to straighten my hair, and I'll choose an outfit while I'm still answering questions, and we'll go back and finish the rest of my face. But the next question that we have is, what's your biggest piece of advice for those curious about starting a BBA? That's actually a great question. I would say, 1, be open-minded. There are so many different paths that you can take with a business degree, and there's so many different concentrations that you can concentrate in. So for example, I'm doing a dual concentration in human resources and in marketing. So I didn't go into university knowing what I wanted to do. I just started taking courses and started, joining clubs, volunteering to see which positions interested me. And that's kind of how I figured out that I wanted to be in marketing and human resources. Being open-minded is a huge tip, because a lot of the times I think people come in saying, I just want to do accounting, I just want to do marketing, and they leave. But with your BBA, you have to have a certain amount of credits, and a dual concentration is a great way to meet your credit requirements and still learn valuable skills in more than one industry. Stay open-minded, because you might end up loving something that you thought you hated. So keeping an open mind is important. As well, I think a BBA is a great degree. If you're on the fence about it, at the end of the day, you're most likely going to work for a business or own your own business. So why not get your BBA? Those skills and what you learn is transferable into any job you have. The next question is, what is something you learned about Beedie that you think first year should know? Definitely that there are so many resources available just for Beedie students. Take the time to actually pay attention to your tours and your intro courses. Those are the best places where they will teach you. I think during launch, they talk a lot about the resources that are available to you. Use them. You pay for them in your tuition, so use them. For example, the CMC, the Career Management Center, does free LinkedIn headshots for all Beedie students. So you can book a time and get your LinkedIn headshots done. LinkedIn is quite big in the Beedie community. It's a great way to find jobs. So if you don't have a LinkedIn, make sure you make one. I believe they make you make one in one of your intro courses. You can book your own appointment slot time and get your photos taken, like your headshots taken, and use them not just for LinkedIn, but for other things too. As well, there's the Beedie Career Peers, there's Beedie Writing Mentors. If you're struggling in 217, 360, or with your business communications, come visit me or any other of our Beedie Writing Mentors. And the awesome part about Beedie Career Peers and Beedie Writing Mentors is it's actually just other students. that are helping you. So the pressure of like sitting in a room with like a prof who you think is judging you is not there. It's another student that's there because they want to be there. A lot of these positions are volunteer based, so if a student's doing it, it's because they genuinely want to help. Like, I wish that I had known to go to these Beedie writing mentors and the career peers sooner to get help on things like my resume or my emails and stuff like that. Don't overlook school networking events that are sent out. So when you sign into your SFU mail, I believe every week the CETO newsletter comes out. There's also SFU bulletin. Take those opportunities seriously and take those emails seriously. I know a lot of people don't even open them, but they are so worth it. If you're wondering when club deadlines are, what applications are open, how you can get involved, what's going on event and networking wise, it's a great way to find out all the information fast by looking at those emails, because they're sent out weekly and it's the most recent up-to-date information. The next question is, any regrets from first year? So like I said before, I'm a transfer student, so I didn't particularly take my first year at SFU, but I did have a first year here. Obviously it wasn't my first, it was my second year, halfway through my second year, but it was still a first year technically. My regrets is, one, taking too heavy of a workload for my personal schedule. I like going out and doing things and I have a pretty busy social life, I would say. And when I first came to SFU, it was in the summer semester. It was during COVID, so it was Zoom time. I did not like it because I was constantly on my computer doing classes. I was taking 4 classes in the summer of 2021. So imagine taking 4 classes all on Zoom, all heavy workloads, and it's the first summer since like restrictions have been lifted from COVID. It was like the first time kind of restrictions had been lifted. And I was spending the summer watching my friends get to go to the beach and stuff like that, while I was like cramming for assignments and stuff, because I worked during the day and I was taking evening courses. So it was like a lot of time management, and I wasn't very good at it at time management back then. So having too much of a workload when I knew that I was also working and I wanted to go out, but I didn't really factor that in, did not help me be a successful student, I would say, my first semester at SFU, because I wasn't loving what I was doing and it made me resent my work, so I didn't want to work. So just know your limits, because you don't want to burn out and have that happen to you. And that was something that I've obviously learned my lesson. I'm not taking a full large workload in the summer when I want to be out on the lake. So definitely know your limits. You don't want to reach burnout. So if you're someone that's working full time and you have a full like social life and you're doing other things on the side, maybe taking one less course so that you don't reach that level of burnout. That being said, that semester I did reach out to SFU Mental Health Services and did get a lot of help and learned better time management from some people that I was directed to. And it helped ease me sort of into it better, I guess. But that would be my only regret from my first year, because it's something I still struggle with, is knowing your limit, because you don't want to force yourself to burn out. So I have straightened my hair, and this is the outfit I decided on. It's kind of chilly in the evening, so I actually spent so much time trying to find an outfit, and I chose the most basic thing ever, so I love that. Another great question that we got was, what's your favorite thing about SFU Beedie / favorite part about SFU Beedie? My favorite part and thing about SFU Beedie is definitely the people and the staff. Like, Beedie is a big school. Obviously, there's a lot of people, faculty, the WMC, the building, it's big itself. But once you're involved in the community, you realize that it's a pretty small world. Everybody knows everybody, and you get to meet a lot of people. Everyone's just so diverse. You can meet 10 people that are all concentrating in marketing, for example, but all of them want to do different things or are doing different things with it. It really, really does make all the difference in making your school journey fun, is getting to know people and meeting people that align with your goals and visions. It's also really nice that on the Burnaby campus, which is the campus that I'm at most often, the Tim Hortons and the Starbucks are both located in West Mall Center, which is where most of my business classes are. So that's also a plus about the Beedie community. That's probably my favorite thing, is that I don't have to sprint across campus to get a coffee on my break. So the next question that we got was, what made you choose SFU? Because I'm a transfer student, obviously a lot of time and thought went into deciding where exactly I wanted to transfer to, because you do have a lot of options in your first 2 years on transferring. It's kind of harder to transfer once you're in your major, like in your concentration courses. I personally decided to go to Beedie because I really, really liked the co-op program, and I really liked all the opportunities presented with the co-op program. And another thing about me is I love nature. I love being, I wouldn't say like I'm a very outdoorsy person, but I love going for walks in the forest, and I really, really enjoy the campuses for SFU. I personally don't go to the Vancouver one as much. I've been there only a few times. I go to Burnaby and SFU Surrey a lot. SFU Surrey is pretty close to me. I study there probably like 4 times a week. Both campuses, although they're SFU, they're both very, very different. So SFU Surrey is very bright, and I like the windows. And it is kind of nice to hear like the white noise from the mall below. It's also open 24 hours, which has been a lifesaver for me. So yeah, and the Burnaby campus, just being surrounded in nature, and you can go for a walk anytime you want, like after your classes, to get a break. And it's kind of quiet and peaceful up there. I actually do like going up there for studying, but just because SFU Surrey is closer, I go there more often. So yeah, even if it's like super, super cold in December and you have a late night class, that was me, it was so worth it to like walk out of the sub after getting blends, which is a coffee place on campus, after like getting blends, and I would like grab my coffee and kind of walk out of the sub and seeing all the lights, because it's a mountain, right? You get to see all of Burnaby underneath. It's just like, it's breathtaking every time. I don't think I ever get tired of it. So yeah, that's like why I chose SFU. And I also have a few family members that went, and they really liked it. So I actually had a family member transfer exactly how I transferred, except he did accounting instead, and he loved it. So it was also helpful knowing that I knew someone who was very similar to me that made a good decision and they loved it. So the next question is, what is a favorite course you've taken? Okay, I have 2 top favorite courses, and they're both upper year. So yeah, I loved Biz 360. And I think some people are probably like cringing at the fact that I'm saying that, because it is a tough course. It's very workload and group project heavy. But I love the course. It's part of the reason I became a Beedie writing mentor. I took it with an amazing prof. I took it with Christian Van Heusen. He is so good, very engaging. And I love the fact that I could take what I learned in class and apply it immediately to my job, because you learn things that are very practical in your everyday life. So how to write emails, memos, and just business communication in general. I found by the end of the semester, I was able to write like professional documents I had to email to people so much faster. Like an email that would have taken me probably 4 hours to write, or like a document with instructions that would have taken me like probably 2 days to write, takes me like less than an hour now, maybe an hour or 2 for a document. It was just so nice to see my improvement in the course. There's a big group project in that course. I had an amazing group. I loved my group. I was with 3 people that were just awesome. So that also definitely helped. Another course that I really, really liked, it actually was the reason I decided to go into HR. I was kind of on the fence about doing human resources as a concentration, and I took Biz 393, it's commercial law, with Shafiq Baloo, and It was amazing. He's so funny, like Christian, very engaging, and having a really good prof honestly makes a difference, or just a prof that teaches in the learning style that you work best with. He was very engaging, and his lectures were a lot of him like talking about different cases that he's dealt with at work, or just old cases that we could refer to. And it's very interesting. Like, you're sitting there and you get to learn, and you kind of like, as you learn, you like watch yourself piece together what's legal, why it's not legal, like, is it negligence, whatever. I also had friends in that class from my club, so it was very, very interesting, and the lectures were really cool, so I really liked both those courses. The most challenging course I've taken is actually the course I'm in right now. I'm taking Biz 336, which is the second stats course, the upper year stats course. Not my favorite. It's been kind of tough. I'm not a numbers person, so I personally did not like Biz 254. That is managerial accounting. I was taking it in that summer, last summer, my first semester at SFU, where I was taking 4 courses, all heavy workload. I didn't like it. However, I did meet one of my really, really close friends in that class, so I'm not upset about it. You have to take the course anyways. So I would say Biz 336 and Biz 254 are my least favorite courses. They're just challenging because, again, numbers aren't my strong suit. I have heard Biz 360 is very challenging. It is very challenging. I took it. But for me, I liked it because I like writing. I like journaling. I like doing that stuff. But I do know my friends that are more into numbers hated Biz 360. But those are all courses you have to take no matter what concentration you in. They are required. So take them with friends and just make sure that you're taking it, if you're not a numbers person, you're taking it with a lighter workload, because you might want to focus on it a bit more. So another question we received is where to apply for different club positions / deadlines for these positions. Following SFU Beedie on Instagram is a great way to find which clubs are hiring, because they'll repost it onto their story. Following SFU clubs themselves, like SFU SMA on Instagram, because we help promote other clubs as well as post our own recruitment. Following clubs on LinkedIn is another great idea, because they post about their recruitment. The deadlines, they do depend on every club, of course. Usually the way with Beedie clubs that I found is that they usually hire in the summer. Some clubs hire kind of more around fall time, but usually in the summer between May and September is when Beedie clubs hire. There is 1 or 2 clubs that will hire more in January, I believe. So just make sure you follow the clubs that you're interested in so you can stay up to date on those. Clubs are a great experience. Make sure you don't overlook them. They are on a volunteer basis, so employers do notice that you are a coordinator or executive member of a club, and they do recognize that it's a lot of work, and it does really pay off because you learn a lot of transferable skills as well as networking and meeting new friends. Don't overlook clubs. Even if you're not interested in the ones at SFU Beedie, if you want something less concentration-based and more interest-based, there's a cheerleading club, there's different dance and band clubs. So join some. It's a great way to make friends and learn skills and put something on your resume. Okay, this is a very personal question, but I'm more than happy to answer. How do you balance being a Beedie content creator, VP of marketing at SMA, and being a full-time student? Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's so easy, because it's definitely not. It is a lot of time management. So I guess we can like go responsibility based. I'm a Beedie writing mentor. That is 2 hours a week. I am a Beedie content creator, which depends on what I have going on, like what TikToks I'm filming. That is volunteer based. There's not a proper time commitment, but obviously when I'm filming like a video, it is a bit more work. And I'm also the VP of SMA for marketing. So that role, again, also is depending on what we have going on. There are slow weeks where it's only 10 hours a week, but then like before an event, it can be 20 hours, or before recruitment, it can be quite busy. So that's like, those are my roles within SFU, but outside of that, I also do have my own job, and which I only work a maximum of 10 hours a week because that's all I can fit in. And I also do like spending time with my friends and family. So having to like fit all that into my schedule is not easy, which is why I have like 3 different calendars, a planner, my Google Calendar, my Apple Calendar, because time management is really, really what it comes down to. Yeah, how do I balance it all? It's just having a good support system, loving what I do, because I don't go into any of these things being like, oh my gosh, I like don't want to do this today. I'm very, very fortunate, and I'm so, so grateful that I love what I do because it doesn't feel like work to me. And a lot of time management and knowing my limits so I don't get burnt out. Those would be my go-to. That's how I balance it all, I guess. So the next question that we have is, what is some advice that I would give to my younger self? As in high school, straight out of high school, coming into university. Which I'm sure a lot of you watching this video are probably at. Which I also remember when I applied to SFU, I went through like a rabbit hole where I just watched every single video that SFU Beedie had posted because I needed to know everything. So if you are here because you're that obsessed too, you're in the right place. Okay. Some advice that I would probably give to my high school self: breathe, calm down. I stressed a lot in high school about tests and grades, and when you apply, like admissions, like am I gonna get in, and then like course selection, getting waitlisted. Those were all things that were out of my control. If it is not in your control, do not stress about it because you're not helping yourself out. Life has a really funny way of just figuring things out for you. So if it's out of your control, don't stress about it. You're just making yourself upset and you're wasting energy on things that you can't change the outcome of. It's out of your hands. Stop stressing. That's like a big thing that I struggled with in high school. And it really helped my anxiety to just realize that it's okay. Another thing I would tell more of like my new student self, not my high school self, is learn to study better. My study habits were horrible in high school. I did not study. I was one of those kids, and I definitely paid for it my first year because I didn't know what I was doing. I would say another piece of advice is always make time for your physical and mental health. That's something that I learned this year that was really important to me. Is when I work out and I move my body physically, I feel a lot better mentally. Always, always, always make sure you have time for those things in your life because your health is very important. And go to office hours. I don't know why I didn't go to office hours my first semester. I regret it. I should have gone and gotten to know my profs better because it has definitely helped me in the long run. So those are all the questions that I'm going to be answering today. Thank you everybody for putting in those questions on our Instagram. We really appreciate it. So yeah, if you are nervous about coming into university, don't be, take a breath. You are going to do great. You are going to make friends. You are going to have a blast once you're in here and once you figure out things. Give yourself some time, be open-minded, and come in with a positive attitude. And I promise you, if things are tough in the beginning, it gets easier. That's why you should also get to know your profs because they can help you out. Thanks so much for watching. And if you are wanting to see how my Richmond night market visit went, check out SFU SMA because we'll be posting a little reel on there. Thank you.